Hi, my name is Tara Patterson, the founder and spokesperson of the Mom's Choice Awards. We're here live at Book Expo America in LA, and I am here with award-winning author Fred Haney. Hi Fred, thank you for being here.
Hi Tara, thank you.
Tell us about your award-winning book, My Doggie Says, Messages from Jamie.
Well, My Doggie Says is about my golden retriever, Jamie. And I realized that she was sending a lot of messages and I wasn't always getting them. So I committed myself to try and study her and body language and figure out what the messages meant and then do something about it, which I think is also important. So over about 5 years, I took hundreds and hundreds of photographs to try and capture Jamie's body language. And it's not about how she's holding her tail or how she's holding her ears. It's just about, why did she do that?
Okay.
What was she trying to tell me? Maybe she wanted me to open the door so she could chase the neighbor's cat, or I'm holding the door open so she can go out and go to the bathroom, and she's standing there looking at me like, why are you doing that? I don't have to go out right now.
Right.
So it was just a lot of those kinds of things. She had some favorite things that she liked to do, and she would beg to do them, and I finally figured out that's what she was doing. And I had a lot of experiences where I had to just stop and scratch my head and say, what's the message? But then once I paid attention to it and figured it out and then did something about it, you could tell that she appreciated it, and we ended up having a much nicer relationship.
Well, what intrigued you to look into her personality, so to speak, or to take the pictures? You know, what prompted you to do that?
Well, two things got me started. One was a week-long photo expedition with my son, who does a lot of wildlife photography. And we spent a week with a guide in Yellowstone National Park, photographing coyotes and elk and antelope and moose and birds and all this stuff. And we spent one whole afternoon photographing a particular coyote. And we had to really tune into this coyote's body language to make sure it wasn't going to just run away from us. He got pretty comfortable and started hunting while we were watching. And he jumped 3 feet in the air to pounce on a little vole. And 3 cameras would go bang, 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 bang. And he got comfortable enough having us around that was okay. So that got me more sensitive about animals' body language. And when I came home, I kind of dedicated myself to paying more attention to my Jamie's body language. But the other thing that happened was that I woke up at 2 o'clock one morning and I could hear Jamie breathing kind of hard in my ear. Our bed is up kind of high off the ground, and Jamie was sitting there. She'd had some surgery, so she couldn't jump up. And I'm trying to figure out what's she doing, what's she saying. If she needed to go out, she'd go to the door, and there aren't any cats to chase. So finally I realized, well, actually the heavy breathing got a little heavier, and then I heard just a gentle little woof, which in the book I spell W-U-U-F.
Right.
It's not a woof, and it's not a bark, it's just woof. And I thought about it, what's she trying to do? And I bet she wants me to lift her up on the bed. So I climbed out and lifted her up and got her up on the bed, and that was exactly what she wanted. And that really got me realizing that it would be easy to miss her messages.
Right.
So I started trying to really decode every message and then do something about it.
Well, obviously a lot of programs are on, Discovery and National Geographic, and where they are out, like you had said, filming the animals in the wild and learning about their characteristics. And, has anybody ever thought to do that with dogs, which seem to be, the pet, the animal that interacts with people,
Right.
that we would want to try to understand.
After all, we live them. Well, it's interesting. A lot has been written about how dogs behave in a pack situation, or how their ancestors, the wolves, behave in a pack situation. And a lot has been written about their posture and how they hold their ears and how they hold their tails, and what does this kind of a smile mean or that kind of a snarl. So there's a lot of studies and a lot of things that have been written about that. But my experience is that it's their actions that send the messages. It's when your dog starts, you're out for a walk and it starts to pull you over here.
Right.
And most people will say, you're heel.
Right.
Just come back and heel.
Right.
But there's often a reason for what it's doing. And one example on our morning walk is Jamie sometimes would just come to a cold stop, sit down on her haunches, look me right in the eye, And at first, I'm thinking, well, what's going on here? You know, it's one of these scratch your head moments. And then I learned when she did that, it was usually because she had some little twigs caught in her tail feathers, and she couldn't get them out. So she's asking me to pull the twigs out. Well, it'd be real easy to miss that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my answer to your question is that a lot of people have studied wolfpack behavior and all the postures and everything, but I think my contribution here has been to try and pay more attention to just the actions of a dog. A dog's actions speak louder than words and louder than woofs and barks, and try and understand what those actions mean.
Well, we've always understand animals to be very intuitive. They know things ahead of time. They're, you know, a storm is coming. You know, animals typically will hide, or they're aware of things coming. It sounds like dogs might be a good teacher for parents in a lot of ways of being able to pick up those messages. But you...
The reasons to own a dog, and the other thing is that morning walk or morning jog that people do is really rich with communication opportunities. Because you're out in nature, there's a lot for your dog to see and hear and sniff, and people to interact with, other dogs to interact with. And I wrote a blog the other day about my jog with Callie, my present 16-month-old golden retriever. And she did about a dozen things just in the course of a 2.5-mile jog that sent real clear messages. I mean, one was she stopped, then she pulled me over toward a stone wall that's about 2 feet high, and she just wanted to jump up and walk on the wall. Well, that's okay. Some people say, well, you have to be alpha, you know, you have to be firmly in command. But I think you can be alpha and still let your dog have some little victories. You can be alpha and still let the dog win once in a while, and it builds its confidence, and it creates more of a give and take kind of relationship.
Absolutely. Well, I want to give an opportunity to talk about your radio show. I understand you have a radio show. Where is it, and what is it about? Is it My Doggie Says?
It's the My Doggie Says show.
Okay.
And you know, I did a lot of radio interviews promoting the book, and then the phone rang one day, and KFNX 1100 in Phoenix asked if I'd like to do a 1 hour a week radio talk show, My Doggie Says. And it's on the same subject of dog communication and relationships, and trying to understand the things your dog is saying and building relationships. And also, I say it's being broadcast over the Doggy Appreciation Network, because I really do think dogs have enormous intuition and intelligence, kind of way beyond what we give them credit for. So the show is on Wednesday nights from 8 to 9, Phoenix's Mountain Standard Time. Here it's the same as our Pacific Daylight Time, but it's also streamed on the internet. So it's 1100 KFNX, it's just 1100KFNX.com.
Fantastic. You're the first, you're leading the pack in these, you know, this new, you know, radio idea, and that's fantastic.
It's a little daunting starting something like that. I've never did a radio show before, but I'm having fun. I've done a lot of public speaking, and I do feel strongly about some of these ideas. It ties in really well with my blog, My Doggie Says blog, which is on these same subjects. So a lot of the material goes back and forth.
What has it meant to you personally, or to the success of your book, to have won a Mom's Choice Award?
You know, it's been a nice experience, because you guys do a lot of great follow-up stuff. I've won, the book's won 4 awards now.
Absolutely.
But you're the only one that does the post-award marketing activities, the interviews, this kind of an interview. And I really appreciate that. I think it helps a lot. I like your program.
I appreciate that. Well, that was the whole mission behind our, you know, organization, was to really have it come from the heart and to do a lot to let people know what's out there. And you know, 63% of the country are animal lovers, dog owners. So that's a pretty big market. And you know,
we got to work on the other 37%.
Well, it's been fantastic. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Tara. It was great to be with you.
Fred Haney, award-winning author of My Doggie Says, Messages from Jamie, and you can find him on
www.mydoggysays.com.
Okay.
And
or
1100 KFNX in Phoenix.
Okay.
And the book is available all the right places.
Fantastic. Well, thank you.